أعوذ بالله الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. So today we shall continue from where we stopped in our lesson on Thursday. So today we shall be talking more about mission, the vision, the goals and objectives. So in strategic management, before you do what? Before you set your plan, you need to clarify. Your vision has to be very clear, your mission has to be very clear, and at the same time, your goal and objective has to be very clear. Now, before we start our lesson today, just a recap of what we covered in our first lesson. So, in the first lesson, we just talked about what strategic management is. We defined strategic management. We talked about the importance of strategic management. We also covered the principles of strategic management. Then we also talked in brief about the strategic management process. And the strategic management process is very important. And today we shall also talk about it. Now, as we start our lesson today, we first of all will clarify the objectives. So these are going to be our objectives today. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to, number one, define the concepts of organizational vision, mission, goals, and objectives, differentiate between vision statements and mission statement, explain the importance of vision and mission in strategic management, describe the characteristics and components of effective vision and mission statements, outline the steps involved in developing vision and mission statement, explain the importance of organizational goals and SMART objectives. Then lastly, describe the relationship between vision, mission, goals, objectives, and strategy. Now, this is very important. I need you to understand this framework. If you want to understand what strategic management is or the strategic management process, in our last lesson, we also talked about this framework. So this framework is very important for you to understand as a master's student in project management and business administration. So if you look at this model, it is divided into three. So number one, you have the strategy formulation. Then we have the strategy implementation. Then lastly, we have the strategy evaluation. So this is what we shall be covering, as I told you in our lesson on Thursday. So if you look at the strategy formulation, the first thing that appears in strategy formulation is you need to develop vision and mission. Then after that, you need to establish long-term objectives. So in our lesson today, we shall be talking about the vision, mission, and objective. Then in our next lesson, we shall talk about the environmental analysis, which is the external environment analysis and also the internal environment analysis. So this is what we shall be covering in our lesson today. So number one, before we even start, what is this strategic management process as we defined in our last lesson? So the strategic management process is a systematic approach. Systematic because there is step one, formulation, step two, implementation, step three, evaluation. So systematic means khatawat, marahil. So it is a systematic approach organization use to define their direction. Defining their direction is to develop the vision and mission. This is the direction. So to develop their direction, then also make decisions and allocate resources to achieve long-term goals, which are the vision, and sustain competitive advantage, which is the mizat tanafusia. So it involves a series of steps that guide the formulation, implementation, and evaluation. So this is the three things: the formulation, then we have the implementation, then we have the strategy evaluation. Now, so this is what we shall be discussing in our lesson today. The framework for strategic direction. So the strategic framework follows this sequence. So number one, in any organization, the first thing is always you need to set the vision, a ru'ya. What is our mission? Then number two, the mission, a risala. Then we have al-ahdaf, goals, which are the broad goals. Objectives are the specific goals. Then lastly, you can have the strategy. You can now start to plan and have the action plan. So this is what we shall be discussing today. So number one, let us start with the vision. So when you're talking about ar-ru'ya, ماذا نعني بالرؤية? What is the meaning of vision? So ar-ru'ya or vision is a clear and inspiring statement that describes what an organization aspires to become in the future. Aspires to become in the future. ماذا نريد أن نحقق في المستقبل? How do we want to look like in the future? So it reflects the long-term desired position. ماذا نرغب في تحقيقها في مستقبل البعيد of the organization and serve as a guide. This is our qibla. It is our map for strategic decision making. So when you are making any decision, we refer to our vision. Al-marja here ru'ya. So any decision we are making, it needs to be aligned to our vision. So according to management scholars, a vision statement answers the question, what do we want to become in the future? Okay, what do we want to become? ماذا نريد أن نكون في المستقبل? So a vision provides a picture of the organization's future direction and ambition, a tumuh. Now, what is the nature of a vision statement? Number one, a vision statement is future-oriented. A vision statement is all about al-mustaqbal. It's all about the long term. It's related to the future. It is also inspirational. Inspirational in the sense that it is like a dream. It is showing us the dream that we want to achieve. Number two, it is strategic in nature. Strategic in nature basically means it requires thinking, it requires a lot of resources. It is not something that is operational. Then it is broad, wasia, and it's long term, and focus on aspiration. And the keyword is growth, because as any organization, you always want to grow and numu. So if you want to grow, you need to have a very good vision, and the vision is the one that is going to guide us. So the vision represents the what? The dream or ultimate destination. When you are talking about the ultimate definition, we are talking about al-mahatta. Where do you want to land? For example, if you are in an aeroplane, you have a destination. For example, you are traveling from town A. So you want to land somewhere, which is town B. Now, what is the importance of organization vision? Is it important to have a vision? Yes, it is important. Number one, it provides organizational direction. So it gives us the path. It shows us the way, that we should move as an organization. So a vision guides organization planning, تخطيط, and decision making. عملية الاتخاذ القرارات. By doing what? Establishing a clear future direction. Now look at this example of a vision of a university to become a center of excellence in research and innovation in Africa. This can be a vision of any university, you know. So if this is the vision of any university, then what will be their priority? Al-Aghulawiyya, it will be on research funding, quality education, and academic partnership. So the vision is going to tell you where should you focus. If you want to become a center of excellence in research, you have to focus invest in research. You know, if you want excellence, you have to do what? You have you have to provide quality education. In Africa, you need partnership because Africa is very big. So the vision determines a lot of things. Number two, inspires and motivates stakeholders. Remember, you have a lot of stakeholders in your organization. So it is going to motivate your employees, managers, students, customers, and investors by creating a sense of purpose. For example, this is the vision of Google. Google vision inspires innovation and creativity among employees. So as Google, they focus more with innovation, al-ibda, and creativity among employees. Number three, the vision supports strategic planning. So vision acts as the foundation for strategic goals and long-term organizational planning. So organizations align. Our vision enables us to put the resources in the right place. It enables us to draft good policies, have good projects, and invest in our human capitals. Then lastly, it enhances organizational identity. So what if somebody can ask you, what is the identity of your business? What is your identity? Identity, for example, you, what is your identity? I am Muhammad, I am a Muslim. You identify yourself as being a Muslim, a practicing Muslim. That is my identity. So even the organization, they have their identity, something that distinguishes an organization from competitors and creates a unique organizational image. So what do you identify yourself with? Is it the quality of the service you are giving? Are you identifying yourself as an organization with the cost, maybe? Are you identifying yourself with the speed of the service? So there are different metrics, ma'ayir. So different organizations, they have what? Al-ma'ayir, litamayuz. So في نهاية المطاف, the principle is organization with strong visions tend to build stronger organizational culture and brand recognition. If you look at all the organizations that have strong brand, for example, Nike, you know, why are they having a very strong brand? It is because they have a very clear vision. Now, what are the characteristics of effective vision statement? Number one, al-wuduh. It should be very clear. A vision should be simple and easy to understand. If you, for example, your vision should just be one sentence. For example, look at this. Look at, for example, this vision here: to become a center of excellence in research and innovation in Africa. Full stop. How many words? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it is very simple. It is very clear. So your vision should be very simple, basit, anybody can understand. Number two, it should be future orientation. A vision should describe future aspiration and long-term goals. So when you're writing your vision, there should always be an element. What is your vision? To be leaders in this and this. Inspirational nature, it should motivate people emotionally and intellectually. So people should, your vision should motivate people emotionally. They should be attached. They should be ready to die for that vision. They should be ready to work. They should be always willing to come every day to work. But if you have a vision, in some organization you go, even the people who are working there, they don't know the vision. So if you ask them, what is the vision of your organization? They don't know. And maybe they've been working for many years in that organization. Then it should also be realistic and achievable. So it should be something that can be achieved. It should not be something that is khayaliya, something that is very difficult to achieve. Then consciousness and memorability. An effective vision should be brief, so it should be very short and memorable. Every person in the organization, they can easily memorize it without any difficulty. Now, when you are developing a vision statement, what are the steps? So if you want to have a good vision statement, number one, analyze organizational environment. Before you do anything, you have to analyze your environment. And remember, as an organization or any business, you have the internal environment and the external environment. So the internal environment, as we shall see in our next lesson, we use the SWOT analysis. And for the external environment, there is something that is called PESTEL analysis. So the PESTEL, the P stands for the political environment. The E stand for the economic environment. The S, the social environment. Then we have the PESTEL. The T is for the technological. Then the E is for the environmental. So you need to analyze the external environment. Number two, you need to identify your values. ما هي القيم. Every organization normally have their beliefs and their culture, So what is your value as an organization? Is it respect? Is it excellence? Is it integrity? Is it compassion? Is it meritocracy? So your vision, mission should be aligned to your values as an organization. Then number three, now, you can define long-term aspiration. That is the desired future position where you want to see yourself. You have to define it. Then when you define it, you can now write it. Drafting means writing, drafting the vision statement. And it should be concise and it should be inspiring. Then lastly, which is the most important, but unfortunately, many organizations, they don't focus. Communicate at tawasul. Call a meeting. Ya Jama, this is our ru'ya. Have a workshop. Have a seminar with all the people in your organization. Share with them the vision, because they are the ones who are going to work to achieve this vision. But many organizations, the vision is always drafted with the top management. And the top management, they don't include the middle and the low people down there. They don't involve them. So the end result is that the vision will not be achieved because there was no stakeholder involvement. And this is what I'm talking about now. Stakeholder involvement in vision formulation. So when you are setting any vision, al-musharaka wa at-tashawur is always very important. And we have many stakeholders. The employees who are working inside your organization, your customers who are buying your product and services, the investors who are injecting money, the capital in your business. We have the government who are giving you the license. Then you have the community, because you are actually existing because of the mujtama. خدمة للمجتمع. So you have to always ensure that you communicate, you involve, you engage, you ask all your stakeholders. Now, if you ask and engage, then what is going to happen? Number one, there is going to be ownership, al-milkiya. Everybody is going to feel like I belong to this organization. This is my organization. This is my company. Why? Because they called me, they involved me in the meeting. So I'm going to be passionate. I'm going to be emotionally attached to the vision. Then it improves acceptance. Sometimes many people, they will resist any new idea. They will resist. Why? Because you did not involve them. But if you involve them, there will be no resistance. Then lastly, it is going to increase commitment. Commitment basically means people are going to be dedicated. They are going to work hard to ensure that the vision is met. Now, these are some samples of vision. For example, the vision of Amazon to be Earth's most customer-centric company. So this vision emphasizes customer satisfaction, innovation, and market leadership. So if you are busy, because we have two types of businesses. There are some businesses that they are involved with what? The product. Some businesses, they give service. So this element should be reflected in your vision, if it is customer centric or product centric. An educational institution, for example, to become a globally recognized institution for quality education and research. As simple as that. You can imagine this is just very clear, simple vision. So your vision should not be confusing. Now, what are the challenges in formulating organizational vision? Sometimes you have you want to formulate what? You want to formulate a vision, you want to draft a vision, but there are some challenges, tahaddiyat, associated with it. Number one, lack of clarity. Ambiguous vision create confusion. Ghumud. It causes confusion among employees because it is not clear. Mu'akkad. It is complex. It is confusing your employee. If it is confusing them, then how are they going to even understand it? How are they going to work towards achieving it? Number two, unrealistic aspiration. Sometimes we have tumuhat, khiyaliya. Overly ambitious vision may appear impossible to achieve. So when you're setting a vision, the vision should be ma'akula. Ma'akula ala hasab al-mawarid, ala hasab al-zaman, ila ghayri dhalik. So you should be very realistic. Don't set a very big vision and you know very well you don't have money, you don't have resources. So the vision is going to be dead even before we start implementing it. Then poor communication of vision. Employees cannot support a vision they don't understand. That is why we said you need to do what? You need to involve them, alalakal. Involve them. Communicate so that they can understand, right? So we are through with number one. So number one was the vision. So we are through with the vision. So number two, a risala. Now, if our vision is very clear, we can go to the next step, which is a risala. So what is the meaning of a risala? So this is a statement that describes the organization current purpose. لماذا نحن موجودين? Like, why is our organization existing? Primary activities. ما هي al-anshita al-asasiya. What do we do every day? And target stakeholders. Who are we targeting? Our business, who are we targeting? Are they the young people, the old people? Are they women or men? So in your risala, all these things should be very clear. The purpose, the activities you are doing every day, and your key stakeholders. Because as a business, you cannot meet the expectation of everybody in the market. The market is very big. You have to be very specific. You have to have in marketing, there is what is known as segmentation. Now, the mission always answers this question: what is our business and why do we exist? Why do we exist as a company? Why are we there? So the purpose of the mission is always to define organizational purpose, number one. Number two, it should explain our product and service. So for example, if you are having a university, you are giving a service. We as a university, we have these courses, we provide A, B, C, and D. Identifies your customers. Your mission should identify your customers. Then it should also communicate organizational values. Okay. Now, what is the difference between vision and mission? Vision, it's all about the mustaqbal. It focuses on the future. Mission, it is focusing on al-yawm. How are we operating al-yawm? Number two, vision, describe what the organization wants to become in the future. But the mission describe what the organization does. What are we doing today? Then number three, the vision is inspirational and aspirational. But the mission is operational and practical. It is all about what we are doing, not what we want to become. Then this one is always long-term orientation. Like we have said in number one, it focuses on the future. But the mission is the current purpose and activities. So the importance of the mission statement. The mission statement, they guide organizational activities. The mission directs day-to-day operations and decisions. What we do every day in our company or business is guided by our mission. Number two, communicates organizational purpose. So through our mission, stakeholders understand what the organization does, what we are doing, ماذا نفعل, who it serves, man إلى من نقدم الخدمة, and why it exists, لماذا. So it is all about the mother, what, who, man, and why, لماذا. All these questions are answered by the mission statement. So it also supports our decision making. So managers use the mission to evaluate business decisions. So قبل اتخاذ القرارات, we go back to our mission. What is our mission saying? So our decision should be aligned, to our mission. Then it also builds stakeholder confidence. So clear mission builds trust. People can trust us, our customers can trust us, our investors and our employees. Now, what are the components? What are the components of a mission statement? It is what I was telling you just in a little while ago. ما هي المكونات الرسالة? Number one, customers or beneficiaries. Who? The university is there for who? The student. You are having a hospital. Why? Because there are some patients you are targeting. So for every mission, there is the who. Who does the organization serve? So before you start your business, you have to clearly identify who are we targeting? Man humul mustahdafin. Is that clear? Now, بعد ذلك, we go to the next step. And the next step is the product al-muntaj or al-khidma. What does the organization provide? Are we giving a product? Are we selling laptops, mobile phones? Or are we giving services like a consultancy? Or if you are a lawyer, you have your firm, you are a school, you are giving a service, right? So it should be very clear the products or the service. If you are a hotel, you are giving a service, right? Number 3, core values, al-qiyam al-asasi. What principles guide the organization? What are your core values? Real ihtiram, al-tamayyuz, al-nazaha, al-amana, al-mas'uliyah. It should be very clear your qiyam. So your qiyam, your mission should reflect the values. Thumma, market focus, which is very important, by the way. Which markets, ما هي الأسواق أو السوق or القطاع, the sectors, does the organization target? Because there are a lot of sectors, there is a lot of market. We have the telecommunication, we have the industrial sector, we have the textile sector, so we have different sectors. So which sector are you targeting? ثم أخيرا, concern for employees and society. How does the organization contribute to society? So because remember, in management, we have what is known as the corporate social responsibility. As an organization, you are also responsible to help the society. That is why you see the Habshil Bank, sometimes they give scholarship to students, sometimes they build mosque, sometimes they help the masakin, sometimes they give the iftar, sometimes in Udhiya, the Habshil will say you are going to give 1,000 goats. Why? It is your social responsibility. So you are not there as an organization only to get al-arbah, only to get the profits. No. لازم تقدم للآخرين, لازم تقدم الخدمة. And because of that, the Habshil, they have many customers. Because many people think, wow, mashallah, the Habshil is giving us something. So even you as a business, هناك المسؤولية الاجتماعية. على الأقل, give sadaqah, give zakah. This is why. So your what? Your risala should actually reflect all these elements. Now, what are the characteristics of effective mission statement? Number 1, it should be clear and specific. Al-wudu or an yakun muhaddad. Number 2, it should be realistic, something that can be achieved. It should be value driven, al-qiyam wal-mabadi. It should be flexible, muruna, we can easily change as the environment is changing. So it does not mean that your risala is just like Quran al-Karim, it does not change. No. Your risala should be changing as the environment keeps changing. You need to update your mission. Then customer oriented. Who are you targeting? The mission should focus on stakeholders' needs. Ihtiyajat al-mustahdafin. We need to focus with the needs of our people or the customers. Now, what are the steps in developing the mission statement? So when we are developing our mission statement, number 1, we need to analyze organization purpose. Our purpose should be very clear. Why are we existing? Number two, identify our stakeholders. Who are our stakeholders? It should be very clear. And if you look here, these are the examples of the companies and their stakeholders. Number three, define your product and your services. What are you offering? Then number four, al-qiyam, define your organizational values. Then after that, you can draft, then communicate. It is just the same way and the same process that was involved in what? When you are drafting the vision. Now, also here, the same thing. You need to involve the stakeholders, participate. They need to participate, because if you involve them, they will be committed. Then they'll also accept your mission. Then there is the relevance. Relevance basically means relevance means the importance. They will feel the importance of that mission. Now, so here are some examples. Here are some examples of what? Evaluating organizational mission statements. So an organization vision statement should be understandable, mafhuma. It should reflect organizational purpose, identify stakeholders, and support strategic goals. So for example, if you go to Coca-Cola, this is the vision, this is the mission of Coca-Cola: to refresh the world in mind, body, and spirit. To refresh the world. So what are the strengths of this mission? So it is very simple. How many words? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. It is memorable. People can easily memorize it. And we have what? It is customer focused. But now, what is the weakness? It does not clearly identify product. What is the product? What is the market? So it is not clear in the vision. Sorry, in the mission. Now, we have finished the two. So after the break, we will continue. So we still have two more remaining. Okay, we have after the break, we will go to the goals and the objectives. So we still have 15 more minutes. After the break, we'll continue for 10 or 15 minutes. We will finish these two. We have the goals now. We are finished with the vision. We are finished with the mission.